Hello, Internet! My name is Catherine Barsonistas, and you are watching the Gluttonous Geek Presents Munchies and Minis, a cooking show where I first make a recipe inspired by Dungeons & Dragons or other tabletop games, and then work on painting a miniature. Today's episode is the third episode in our second season, and it's going to be a little bit of a short episode. We're just going to be cooking today because I'm getting ready to go to Staten Island in like 2 days to be on Audio Dungeon for their Wednesday episode of Audio Dungeon, their D&D campaign, and you should watch it. Check it out on the Facebooks or on the Twitch. I will be playing and serving up a recipe, so this should be pretty darn interesting. But because I'm doing that, I'm going to be making up today's recipe as well as prepping a few more things before dinner tonight and taking some photos for later on this week. You'll get to see me put together some cocktails inspired by the Wizarding World series, like by J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter, or Fantastic Beasts, all of that. But today's episode, which we're about to make, is actually one of the recipes, and sorry, I'm saying all over the time. Calm down. Drink.
What are you drinking?
Babe.
Sorry.
Stop trying to help me. I love you. Right. Today's recipe is for fried Myconid cap with garlic butter, a recipe voted by my Patreon subscribers actually technically last week, but stuff's happened, so let's keep going. So this recipe is actually from the Avernus campaign from Dungeons & Dragons, one of the most recent campaigns released for 5th edition. Takes place in the Underdark as well as the lower planes of Hells. So we're going to be taking the whole Myconid cap, which is this big mushroom creature that eats things, mostly dead things, and, well, making it into sort of a panko covered fry with some Korean chili paste seasoning and a whipped garlic butter to dip it in. So I've been explaining a lot. Let's get to cooking. So what you're going to need are some bowls. You'll need portobello mushroom caps, and I've got about 5 of them here. You're going to need about 4 to 6. Most of the time you get them in the restaurants, the grocery stores, you can find them in about packs of 4. That should be good to work with. Have I mentioned that I haven't streamed in about a week? My brain is totally fried because I have to find a new part-time job in the next couple of weeks. But yes, you just want to take these portobello caps and cut them into 1/2-inch thick strips. So that's what we're just doing right now. I'm just going to go ahead and just toss these in a bowl while we wait and finish cutting the rest of them. And if you need a quick tutorial how to hold a chef's knife, you just take the index finger of your dominant hand, put it here right up against the blade where it meets with the handle, put your thumb there, and then curl your fingers around comfortably for a nice, stable grip. So I'm just kind of eyeballing about 1/2-inch thick strips here. It's 2. And I've already brushed the dirt off of these caps. You're seeing like little mushroom bits that are attached to it. But really you want to brush off your mushrooms instead of rinsing, because mushrooms are kind of little sponges that will soak up pretty much any oil or liquid that you put on them, and we really don't want that much excess moisture in these because we want them to be able to soak up. Mushrooms are amazing. Thank you, Strike. Hydrophilic. Yeah, they have a tendency to soak up any liquid that tends to get in contact with them. It's also why they tend to dry out when exposed to air for a long period of time. So we want it to be able to soak up our batter, which is going to be using some gochujang, gochujang, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Korean chili paste, mixed with some milk and beer. The beer is going to add a really nice kind of carbonation to our batter to make it nice and light and not all that crazy heavy as we would normally get with a standard frying batter. Feel free to use apple cider if you want, or any other carbonated beverage that you think would go well with the flavor. I mean, I, for example, am currently drinking a concoction I made. Maybe a mead, milk and honey. Mead if it were carbonated. The thing is, you really want to have that carbonation. Though you can always mix in a little bit of mead, but if you want to add that and kind of keep the flavor centered on the honey, you really want to go with a club soda or kind of carbonated water that it is flavor neutral, just so it doesn't fight with the honey. You could also use a really light beer, like a wheat ale, like a pale wheat ale. No IPAs, because they are incredibly strong, but IPAs do have a very kind of funky flavor that would work thematically, at least, with mushroom caps. So that's an idea. But yeah, carbonation keeps the batter much lighter while it's being fried. So yeah, speaking of what I'm drinking, like I said, I'm going to be on Audio Dungeon next week, and I am making these kind of root beer braised pork tacos to go along with their whole dwarven city that they have at the beginning of their season. And also, I'm going to be playing a tavern owner character who's going very southern. Her name is Magnolia Mayberry, but most people call her Maggie. And her tavern, the Steel Magnolia, is known for its all-day brunch menu and sweet tea, hard cider. So I'm going to be making some sweet tea hard cider for them, which really is just me making sweet tea syrup and then adding it to Angry Orchard. But there's only so much I can do since I'm going from Atlanta to Staten Island. So it's my excuse to go visit New York City. And Strike says, Audio Dungeon sounds interesting. How long do they keep you imprisoned? Usually about an hour and a half to 2 hours per episode. But they're a really fun group. About 6 players. They stream video in this really, really cool looking studio setup. The guy who runs the game, Tony Hansen, he has his own audio-video studio called Phoenix Studios, and they've got some pretty top-notch stuff. I mean, he does this for a living, so it's pretty darn cool. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it because considering when they first asked me to come on the show, they had about 7,000 followers on Facebook, and now they're like well over 8,000, and they keep growing their audience per episode, and there's like hundreds of people watching per episode, so I'm like, hey, stream goals. But that, and I get to show some, down southern hospitality on, and that's, my voice is meh right now as far as my accent goes. I'll clean it up before the show. Right, so we have sliced up our portobello mushrooms, and now we just need to start making our batter. So, for that, you are going to need a cup, 1 cup of all-purpose flour, a tablespoon of cornstarch, and if you don't happen to have a clean tablespoon available, like I don't at the moment, a tablespoon roughly equals 3 teaspoons on that measurement. So I'm just going to do it 3 teaspoons of cornstarch, i.e. a tablespoon. And that's going to act as our binder. see, other dry ingredients. Right, a few pinches of kosher salt. I cannot do accents myself. I'm always jealous of those who can. Well, the thing is, I kind of have to get into the accent. Like, all right. My name is Magnolia Mayberry, but you can call me Maggie. And welcome to the Steel Magnolia. We have an all-day brunch menu, as well as our house specialty, sweet tea cider. Let me know what I can get for you today. How are you doing, Sean? Bless your heart. Thank you for coming in. I can do a bit better once I'm, you know, a little bit more relaxed. But I've got my cornstarch and flour and a couple pinches of kosher salt in there. I just need to whisk that together. A derp. A derp, derp, derp. And then I need to prep my wet ingredients. So, I'm just going to move that and that. Reuse a cup here. Oh, quarter cup. I do need that. So, you're going to need 3/4 cup of whole milk. So, 1, 2, 3. And a tablespoon of that chili paste. It's like I spent a decade in the deep south, Little Rock, Arkansas. I barely picked up a tiny bit of twang on one word. It's kind of funny for me because since I hang out with the Loot and Dagger crew a bit, I mean, of course, Adam has his Victor Sinclair character, the whole foghorn leghorn type thing, but I'll tell you that the majority of us in Atlanta are transplants. I mean, very, very few of us were born and raised in the South. Well, born and raised in Georgia anyway. I mean, my husband was, but I was a military brat growing up, so I was born in Alabama, but I moved to England very shortly after. Came back with a British accent that I cannot do ever again. Moved to, back to Alabama, moved up to New York, then middle of nowhere, Missouri, and then moved to Georgia back in 98 or 99. I want to say 98. So yeah, I've been here for a little over 20 years at this point. And the thing is, yes, we do have people that still talk like that, but they're usually in their 50s or 60s. And it really depends on where you meet them. Otherwise, it's the majority of people talk like that, or in the full-on kind of redneck twang. I want to say about, I don't even want to say 50. I want to say at least 60 or 70 miles outside of the city. Because, yeah, the majority of people in Atlanta are actually transplants. So, yeah, now I'm just going to whisk my chili paste into my milk. It's like, and admittedly, the accent that we tend to imitate is from older folks. We're a little bit more old-fashioned, but even then, it's kind of interesting going outside of the state and people noticing your accent. I'm finding that I actually do have a little bit of a southern accent without really trying. And that's just from living down here for the past over 20 years. But it's so light that I have a tendency to confuse people who actually do live here, because it's also mixed in with a heavy Midwestern accent from my parents. My parents are Michiganers. Let's see here. But that's kind of funny because, yeah, Audio Dungeon, those folks, especially their DM, Tony Hansen, full-on New York accent, which is funny when he starts going into other accents. Because yeah, Tony's pretty darn good at the other accents. Like he can do a Morty from Rick and Morty. That's just effing hilarious. Okay, I think that's about as whisked up as we're gonna get at the moment. So, there are some things I need to get. I need 2 plates. I need my bowl. I need my liquid. And my beer. Here we go. And also, I need to switch to my stove cam really quick here to get the heat going. Just going to put that on about medium heat. And I want to pour in about enough cooking oil so it reaches about a 1/2 inch off the pan. That's pretty good. And I want to get it hot but not smoking. So I'm just going to turn the vent on really low on there and switch cameras to continue on our batter. Right, so you'll need 3/4 cup of wheat ale. So first I'm going to pour in the milk and chili paste. And then I'm going to pour in 3/4 cup of beer. Okay. Just going to whisk that in. Oil type. I've got canola oil in there. You want either canola or vegetable seed oil. Vegetable oil, because it can handle higher temperatures without smoking or degrading. I mean, olive oil, once it gets to smoke point, kind of degrades and becomes toxic. So that's why you want to go with a higher smoke point oil like canola or vegetable. Or even sunflower oil, but sunflower or safflower oil tends to be a little more expensive, so just go with the classics. All right, so I've got our batter. So I've got 2 plates here, and I just need to put some panko, which I already poured out, onto one plate. I'm not pouring all of it out at once, but that way I can kind of add it as I go without getting too soggy. And now I just take a mushroom strip, coat it, drip off, roll it, and transfer it. And then just continue as I go with the next strip. So, dip, roll, transfer. But yeah, I figured this would be a good Sunday afternoon snack. Have it with some butterbeer and giggle water, which I'm going to be plating and photographing later after I cook all these up. Because, yeah, I need to finish all of that before flying out on Tuesday. I'm excited, yo. I mean, like I said, I'm kind of using this as an excuse to visit New York. I haven't been in like 9 years. So I get to go see my friend from college. I get to try out a couple places I've been yearning to go to. And Momofuku's on the list, even though I'm debating whether or not to go because the reviews are kind of mixed. I guess it's going to depend on how crowded they are. Though there's this place that does late night ramen. There's one little guy who, after his restaurant closes in the evening, he reopens again at 11 in the evening and stays open till 3 p.m. serving up ramen. And apparently it's the most amazing thing ever, so yeah, I'm definitely going to try that. Let's see. Also, a thing I'm looking forward to is hitting up the Francis Tavern and Tavern Museum. It's apparently where a lot of the founding fathers used to hang out before and during the Revolution. So, I'm going to check that out. Have myself a beer or 5. No, I can't have 5 beers because drinks are expensive in New York. But, let's see, there's also a tiki bar I'm looking forward to checking out called Otis's Shrunken Head. This place is apparently famous. I'm just gonna... Come on. Alright. Let's see. And where else am I going? Oh, right. I learned that Juilliard School of Music does recitals like pretty much every day, every evening or afternoon. So there's apparently some violin concerto championship finalists that are playing on Thursday night. So definitely going to check that out too before I meet up my friend for dinner. Yeah. I mean, I try to find nerdy restaurants and whatnot to go to, but the trouble with a lot of them is that a lot of times it's just the physical aesthetic that is nerdy, but not the food so much, or it's very gimmicky and doesn't actually last all that terribly long. I mean, it's probably open for about a year and then closes. And, I mean, that's just the nature of a lot of places like that. But I kind of think I'm going for the historically nerdy and whatnot. Like, apparently there's also a giant tabletop store called The Complete Strategist about a few blocks away from Penn Station. I'm going to head up. Okay, yeah, I can smell the oil now, so it's definitely time to start frying. So I'm just going to switch that to my stove cam. And charity competition, Juilliard, sounds amazing. Yeah, and apparently they're all free, too. Okay, so 2-3 minutes on each side. Let's get that frying. And it looks like I need to get another plate to put paper towels on, so I'm just going to do that. Get that line of some paper towels. Yeah, apparently Juilliard does like free recitals and concerts open to the public pretty much every day. I was kind of looking up, you know, what's some free stuff to do in New York, and that was one of the things. So I'm like, hey, I'm down for that. I am certainly not complaining. So, let's see, I'm just gonna dip a few more shrooms. I think that's my timer calling to me. Oh, nope, got a minute still, okay. Yeah, also gonna hit up the Museum of the American Indian near Battery Park, and I don't know, there's a couple other cocktail places that just look interesting. So hopefully I'll have enough room after doing 20-hour fasts as of late to eat all the things. That's my hope anyway. Okay, that is definitely almost a timer. Okay. All right. That's 2 minutes. See how we're doing after 2 minutes. 2 minutes looks good. Let's give those a quick flip. All right. And let those go for another 2. As I continue to dip more mushrooms. Okay. Food is the best part of travel. I agree there. Much agreement. And that's not me just saying that because I'm a food blogger. I'm really tempted to hit this one Airbnb experience of, not Airbnb, it's either eat with or eat Airbnb experience of kind of a Turkish coffee fortune reading. Where you drink a cup of Turkish coffee and then the guy tells your fortune based off your coffee grounds. I'm very tempted to do that, but it really just depends on what kind of time I have. Because I'm also tempted to check out this like local kind of, not really poetry reading, but kind of a, I think there's a theater nearby that does script cold readings or something on Tuesday evenings in the East Village, which I'm curious about. I'm very curious about. Let's see, you get to find out so much about a place and by what they eat. Yep, that was essentially my Chicago trip when I was going to go see and eat the things. And yeah, I've been plotting out like where to possibly eat based off of around where I'm going. And that RPG shop I was telling you about, the Complete Strategist, they are located in Koreatown. And there looks to be a pretty good Korean barbecue place with really good lunch specials. So I think I'm going to hit that place up. Okay, it sounds like the frying is slowing down behind me. So yep, and that was another 2 minutes. So let's go ahead and get those out of the oil before they burn. Okay, so that is looking good. Might be a little overdone. I think I'm starting to see also how hot my pan is in what sections. Okay, that's one batch. So now I just need to let that heat up for a bit. Again, because every time you take stuff out of the oil, it will cool down the oil, so you want it nice and hot again. It's like, as a Chicagoan, I can attest the accuracy, and Korean barbecue sounds fantastic. Yeah, Atlanta's Korean community is huge, so there's all sorts of Korean places that have amazing food. So yeah. So we got some really nice Japanese restaurants, and the Mexican is pretty good too down here. All right. Ow, that was oil on my fingertip. Right, I'm doing this wrong. I can't not hurt myself while cooking, can I? All right. So there's another 2 minutes. All right. Let's see. Is there, for visiting Yankee, a place I should make sure not to miss in the greater Atlanta area? Oh, let's see. I know that it's very likely that Goblin's going to take you to Joystick Bar, either Joystick or Battle and Brew. Though, yeah, the Sui's ramen's pretty good, but I'm trying to think off the top of my head where you really want to go. Probably somewhere with decent chicken and waffles. Ooh, actually, I know the perfect geeky food spot that you should go to. It's called My Parents' Basement. It is located in the Avondale Estates area. Their brunch is excellent. Their regular menu is excellent. Their beer selection is incredible. So, highly recommend. And let's see here. Yes. It's also a comic book shop. So, you can browse titles while you're sipping on your beer. But yeah, chances are they're probably going to take you to Joystick. Because, see, it's Old Fourth Ward. It has a lot of arcade games and rotating kitchen. The person they have running the kitchen right now does these kind of Korean fusion tacos and whatnot that are just phenomenally good. See, Iron Age is the classic Korean barbecue spot, but really, you can't go wrong with a lot of places along Buford Highway. It's where all the various immigrant communities live. I mean, the majority of them. The majority of the Korean ones are going to be up north of Atlanta towards Duluth. Oh, come on. That might be a little too hot, so I'm just going to turn the oil down a little bit. Come on. Come on. Make sure that you're frying in a tall-sided skillet so this doesn't splash all over you either. Come on, turn. Okay. Another 2 minutes. Actually, let's go for a minute and a half because it took me about 2 minutes to do that. Okay. And, let's see. I'm trying to think of places in town that are fantastic. I know that we have a couple of tiki bars in the area that are pretty good. I've heard SOS is good. We went to Tiki Tango on Friday evening, and it was really nice. Trader Vic's is kind of the Atlanta staple. I don't like them as much, though, because I feel like they're overpriced and just kind of mediocre for what they serve. But the reason also why it's a staple, too, is that it is located in the basement of the Atlanta Hilton Hotel, which is one of the Dragon Con hotels. So, you know, if you're in town for Dragon Con, it's a good spot to hang out for, you know, if you like crowds. I'm not much of a crowd person. But Tiki Tango is gorgeous. It's three stories, beautiful decor, delicious drinks, and the food is pretty good too. So, I'm trying to think of where else is pretty good as far as Atlanta is concerned. Because like I said, I don't really go downtown all that often. Decatur is known for its really good restaurants too. Yeah, need to take that out. All right. And a good way of knowing when they're done too is you start to hear it kind of slow down while frying. So, cool. It's like, I'm not a crowd person, that's why I'm coming down in March instead of Dragon Con. Fair enough. Goodness. But, let's see, what else is good to go to? Oh, yeah, you need to stop by Red Phone Booth. Red Phone Booth and the restaurant above it, Amalfi's Pizza. Also next to the Dragon Con hotels, but not really frequented as much during Dragon Con. Because for one, it's a nicer looking Italian restaurant. But two, you kind of have to have the code for the phone booth to get into the speakeasy bar. And they serve up classic cocktails that are fantastically done. Everything is house-made. Nothing's pre-mixed. And I know for a fact that the food at the Amalfi's Pizza upstairs is fantastic. You're also picking a good time to go if you go during March, because since it's not Dragon Con, it's not nearly as crowded, as well as they actually serve their pizzas have an option where you can have the crust folded over with pockets of ricotta cheese. And it tastes amazing. They don't do that when it's Dragon Con time, just because it's just takes too much time and materials for that many people. But yeah, if you eat there and ask for the passcode downstairs, or you're staying at one of the hotels in the area, or just kind of go up to the what's it called? Concierge, any of the big hotels in the area, and they'll get you the code to get in. Just keep in mind, it's a cocktail bar as well as a cigar bar. So, and also there is a dress code. Though my understanding is that you have to wear a collared shirt. But it's fun, and the drinks, while expensive, are delicious, and they pour heavy. So just keep that in mind. Let's see, 145. Whew, goodness. Guess I should pack real clothes just in case. Yeah. I believe it's also listed on their website too, so you can also see like what you need to wear. Though I think it's, like I said, I think it's pretty basic. Okay, 2 more pieces left. Okay. One. The restaurant above it's called Amalfi's Pizza. They're right next to the Peachtree Center. And the speakeasy itself is called Red Phone Booth. Okay. Cool. Whew. Best thing about this batter too is it doesn't have eggs, so I don't have to keep washing my hands between each batch. Man. 16 seconds left on that one. Turn. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Gluttonous Geek. Hope you're having a good day. Hey, Laughing Underwater. I'm having a day. I'm having a better day than I was having. It's been a week, which is also why I am not really streaming until today. Long story short, I have until the end of next month to find another job. Because of reasons that are not really mine to give out. But beyond that, I'm actually excited too for this upcoming week because I'm going up to New York City and Staten Island to be a guest on Audio Dungeon, this live D&D show that runs Wednesday evenings from 8:30 p.m. to 10:45 p.m., where I will be presenting a recipe I'm inspired by the show, as well as playing as a character on the show too. So I'm excited about that. I mean, they're like, well, we could just kind of, you know, you could send us a recipe and then we can make it before the show. And when, you know what? I could use a trip to New York City. I just could. It sounds like fun. So I am taking that chance to go on a little mecation and go up and see and eat things. Not all the things, because I don't have that kind of time, but I get to go see my friend from college. I get to try out a bunch of restaurants on the east side that I'm looking forward to going to, East Village I'm looking forward to going to, and I get to play a Southern Belle Gladiator on a Dungeons & Dragons live show that's being streamed out to a followership of 8,000 people. So I'm not complaining. See, I can get street pizza too. I could, though. There's a street taco place near the financial district that looks pretty interesting, as well as a bagel shop that I'm looking at as well. I have been jonesing for some bagels with lox. I mean, I know Einstein Brothers has it, but you know, you gotta do it in New York. So there's this place in the financial district that looks really good. Check that out on Wednesday morning, probably. Yeah. And yeah. As well as Francis Tavern Museum. Francis Tavern. Let's see. I'm thinking about checking out Momofuku, but there's a couple other places in the East Village that actually look a little bit more appealing. Like, there's this Japanese comfort food place that looks pretty cool. Specialty are rice bowls. Donburi. Okay, let's see if I can get this onto this pile. We shall see. This plate might not have enough room to Tetris it in. Got one more batch after this, otherwise I would use the other plate. Okay. Alright. Haha. Okay, next batch. Let's get that next batch in. There's also, I was telling Strike earlier about this. Like, there's this late night ramen place. I mean, during the day, during the evening, it's like a just Japanese food restaurant, but between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m. Little old Japanese man that all he does is make delicious ramen. And I'm all for it. I am all for off the beaten path kind of places. Especially at, oh god, in the morning, after going to a tiki bar and other cocktail bars. I am all for it. And the thing about New York, too, is, I mean, it's a city that doesn't really sleep. So it's well lit most times of the day. Oh boy, that's a lot of mushroom stains. Okay. Just going to clean up my workspace a little bit. Now I need to make my garlic butter. My friend was just in New York City and found out that Starbucks closes at 6 p.m. on Saturday. Also, Times Square having an Olive Garden is still hilarious to me. Oh my god. That is effing hilarious. Well, I mean, if the tourists will eat there, the tourists will eat there. I mean, I know I'm gonna... Thing is, I used to live in West Point, New York. I mean, about 50 miles north of New York City, up in the, like, not far from the Catskills. So, yeah, I've seen all of the little touristy places. I've been to Broadway shows. I've been to Ellis Island multiple times, as well as the Statue of Liberty, multiple times. So, I don't know why I'm pulling out a cutting board for this, other than just to kind of show what I'm doing. But yeah, now I'm just kind of like, what are all these places that I can check out that are a little bit more towards my interests rather than the standard, oh, well, you're in New York, you have to go here. I went up in the Twin Towers when they were still standing, so, I mean... I've also, like on a choir trip, went to the Aftermath. I mean, I have no desire to see Ground Zero and relive that trauma. So, yeah, rental cost for that space is so insane they have no idea it could even break even inside. Oh my gosh. That's insane. Alright, gotta flip over the mushrooms. And hopefully not burn myself in the process. Okay. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. All right. Okay. Cool. 145. There we are. Okay, so I'm going to switch back to this cam here. It's a good go to a Knicks game if you need a quiet, empty space to roll. Oh, that's mean. Alright, so I've got this little thingy recently from a cooking class I took over at Sur La Table. So, no, I'm not sponsored by them. I just went, you know, I could do the standard smash it with a knife thing, but if this is easier, this is easier. So, I'm going to see if this is actually easier. On that one, no. Let's see if this one works. Haha! That one did work. Maybe... Oh, this one also kind of worked. Alright. Yep. Got a clove. Not that I'm fussy or anything, just I'm also trying to save a little time. That way my fries are still warm when I serve this up. So, yeah. Stop it. Okay. Also heard microwaving is versus easier sometimes. Honestly, I usually just smack it with the pestle of my mortar and pestle. Yeah. But though, honestly, this way is probably a little faster, especially if you're doing a lot of cloves of garlic, which, yeah, for my tacos recipe, this would be very useful. Okay, that sounds like the mushrooms are done. And they're still kind of all crinkly. Yeah, those are done. Okay. I need to give this another flip. No, that one just needs to fry a little longer. Okay. More. Shut up. Okay. All right. Cool. That batch is finished, and we are done. Done with frying our mushrooms. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn that off. That way I'm not yelling over it anymore. So now I have all this garlic peel. And one more to go. Okay, so you can use about 4 to however, like 2 to however many garlic cloves you want. I'm using, I guess, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because that's how many I peeled, and I really like garlic. I'm just going to take all this peel here, and I'm going to save it in my stock bag, where I've got a bunch of chicken bones and onion peels and carrot ends and all that good stuff. Just kind of pour that in there. Still garlic peel all over the place. Okay. Peels flying everywhere. All right. I'm going to show you another little neat gadget I got. I can't remember. Well, actually, I have no idea technically where I got it, other than it was a gift from a family member. And I don't see an actual brand, but this, oh my gosh. This garlic press. See how it has a little thing to push it out as well as scrape? So we're going to be using that, as well as getting a dish to mix up my butter with. Let's see, I might need a larger dish than that. Let's see, let's use mixing bowl's a bit large for what I need, maybe a smaller one. Let's go with that. That'll work. Okay, so now I'm just going to press my garlic into this dish. See how it cleans out so easily? And just kind of scrapes it away. All the garlic I'm gonna need. Just get that a rinse. Have it ready to go into the dishwasher when I'm ready. And right, I need my mixer. here we are, all the way back here. Irk. All right. So, got my mixer here with a, we'll do the regular beater attachments if I can find them, which I can't, so we'll do the whisk attachment, I guess. Where did my beater attachments go? Are you in here? Yes. Haha. Beater attachments. Okay. So I've got about 7 cloves of garlic all pressed and everything in there. I'm just going to save that bit for my things and stuff. Pour what's left of this beer for myself because it's beer and it should not be wasted. Right, milk. I need milk. So this whipped butter recipe is kind of based off of that kind of really soft, spreadable butter that you get like at Outback Steakhouse or Longhorn. When really it's just butter that's been kind of put to room temperature and then whipped with milk and whatever you see fit. So I've got plenty of garlic in there. I'm just going to add a couple pinches of kosher salt. And if you're worried about that being extremely salty, kosher salt salinity is lower than most others, like than table salt. So a lot goes a little way, as opposed to, say, table salt. It dissolves faster. So, right, where is my teaspoon? Here we are. Right, so I need 2 tablespoons of whole milk. So it's about 3 teaspoons per tablespoon, so I'm going to need 6 of these because all of my tablespoons are currently in the wash. Cool. All right, and I've had the stick of butter. It's about it's a half a cup of unsalted butter. So a stick, or 4 ounces for those using the metric system at home, even though I've not given really any other metric measurements. Sorry. Just want to get that in there. Just gonna cut that up. Cool. And let's see, what thing can I unplug? That's okay to unplug. All right. Okay, good. The microphone's still working. Ah! That's okay. It was just a mason jar. It didn't have stuff in it. It did not break. Okay. Let's see how these attachments... This might be a terrible idea for this particular bowl. Yep, that was a very terrible idea for this bowl. All right. Yeah. And I think for this particular beater, let's use the whisk attachment. See, this is a learning process for me, too. Just gonna pop those out. Okay. Let's try with the whisk attachment. See how it works, if it works. Okay. Right, yeah, we're putting this into a larger bowl. Because that was also a terrible idea. Oh gosh. Spatula. Should use one of those. Okay. Just do what I tell you to do, dang it. You're making me look bad. God. Okay. All right. Now we shall make this work. Ha ha! I think I might need to make another batch. Okay. Let's see if this is actually working. Kind of. Probably use another splash of milk. Yeah. It's about a tablespoon. Okay. Nope, definitely some more. See how it tastes. Okay. So, I'm thinking that this needs a little something else. I think it needs some honey to help cut through the spiciness in that garlic. And also act a little bit as an emulsifier. So let's say about right. Right, I've got other honey. Blueberry blossom honey. Let's use it. Come on. Where's my jar opener? Gah. Where'd you go? I'm lost without you. You know what? Screw it. Let's use agave syrup. Think honey, but I'm using what I have, and the consistency is kind of similar. So let's go about. That's definitely a tablespoon. Okay. Let's try it now. Yeah, without getting it everywhere. Yeah. Just getting it all over myself. Ah. Okay. Let's see. How are we doing now? See at least how it tastes. Okay. The taste is there. Whew. Right. Actually, I wonder if the other heater attachments would have worked a little better than this. Yep. I know what I'm doing, kind of. Okay. Come on. All right. Yeah, I think the other beaters might have worked a little better. Let's give them a try. Don't worry, they're still clean. Okay. There we are. Okay. All right. So, moment of truth. Just gonna give that a taste with one of our fries. It's really good. Right. So, that means it's time for some plating. Though I would recommend for a batch this probably not as much milk. Okay, so use the original amount of milk, which was about 2 tablespoons. Sorry, that was panko in the back of my throat. Ooh. So yeah, 2 tablespoons of milk, a tablespoon of agave syrup, and a half a cup of butter with a few pinches of kosher salt. Though, yeah, you're probably going to want a double or probably even triple batch to go along with these portobello fries. But I will definitely enjoy the batch I have right here. So let's get that plated. Got a couple of options as far as our dipping sauce is concerned. Thinking about using this little D20 tea trivet from Dryad Tea. We're going with that, or possibly even that. Let's get some fries on this plate and see how it looks. Get some in this, just see how it looks. I mean, it looks cool, but I'm not sure if people are going to quite get it. Yeah. Let's go with this. That's looking good. And maybe, let's see. Maybe I can do some rehydrated mushrooms on top. That would look pretty cool. Yeah, let's do that. And this is an optional thing, just to let you know. Just gonna turn on my tea kettle real quick here. Once I plug it in. And maybe I select think there are, let's go with, I'm gonna rinse off my tea trivet real quick here. All right. So you get a little dish to put some of these gourmet mushrooms. Now you can totally get this stuff at Costco, like just a giant tub here. Or, you know, dried mushrooms are kind of standard now. Let's see, I think I'm going to go mostly with cremini. I guess these are portobellos. Yeah. In the meantime, I'm just gonna clean up some of this. I put these garlic skins into my stock bag. As I wait for that water to heat up. Let's see here. Tastes good. This way, put all of the perishables away. Milk cap, here we are. Okay, maybe. And this I'll put away. Get back in there, dang it. Grr, arg. All right. Awesome. Just going to be covering that really quick. Try to rehydrate that. So, might have another mushroom or two that might look interesting. Like maybe, let's see, I think there's a chanterelle or two in here. Some black trumpets. Let's see here. There's a chanterelle and well, it's a black trumpet. Let's see how that looks. Let's see. Can go back in there. And ooh, oh, that's lovely though. And that's also what I love about dried mushrooms is all the soaking liquid that you can use in stock later on. But in the meantime, Let's get that butter shaped a little bit. Shape it lightly with a spoon. Whip that up. Let's smooth it over a little bit first. And then kind of do these sort of half circle sort of pressing to make it look all pretty. And look interesting. Okay. Let's see how those mushrooms are rehydrating for me. See, that black trumpet might be a little too large. But I'm just gonna get this into the sink. And while I am waiting for all of that to reconstitute, I'm going to go ahead and start plating a couple of the other things that we've been working on. So that looks good. No, I never too large of a mushroom. Hi, Abe. It's good to see you. It's been a while. Yeah, so I'm just finishing up that pan-fried myconid cap. I'm just rehydrating some gourmet mushrooms that I got from Costco as kind of a little garnish to put on top of our garlic butter. But there's a couple other things I've been working on this week that I still need to photograph, and hopefully it'll all work out. I've got this fantastic beast-themed cocktail that I made the syrup up a couple nights ago, but I haven't actually had a chance to pour it. I made a honey syrup using mead and fresh dill. And the thing is, I'm basing this cocktail off another 1920s cocktail called the Bee's Knees, where it's a mix of honey syrup, lemon, and gin. Though I decided that, giggle water, especially from Fantastic Beasts, should be more of an upper rather than a downer, and gin tends to be a bit of a downer, despite its botanicals. So that's why I use dill, which is normally used, was used in herbalism as well as in witchcraft to kind of constitute joy, to help spark joy. An herb sparks joy, not a little woman telling you to throw away your books in your apartment. For that, also, we're going to be using champagne because giggle water was oftentimes used as a slang for, alcohol back in the 1920s, but more specifically for the old bubbly. So, what we're doing is we're taking this cocktail that I made and floating it on top of glasses of champagne. So, right, I need a towel. It's like I thought you sparked the herb for joy. Aw, thank you. Okay, just gotta open up this bottle here. And I've got some old-timey champagne glasses here from courtesy of my husband's late grandparents. Kind of like the ones that you see in the film. And this is okay, I have to admit, this is the first champagne I've seen with a screw cap. This does not invoke confidence in me. Ellen, where's my bottle opener? Ah! Haha! Alright, well, hopefully this is still bubbly. Okay. Yes, that is definitely bubbly. And I'm just gonna take an ounce, which is about 2 tablespoons of this syrup that I made. It's a half tablespoon, so I need about 4 of these. Okay. Let's see. Champagne's never been my go-to. Gives me a cotton mouth and a headache. It's a fizzy lifting drink, yep. And I've got some lemon peel that I've also peeled and some fresh dill to garnish with. So, just need to take a toothpick and twist that. Well, as frond dill. Let's actually thread that on there. There we go. That's pretty. I like that. Let's switch the camera here. Kind of see what I mean here. So let's do that with another lemon peel and stick that in there, thread that through. And float that on top. Excellent. So, very good. And I should have the recipe up before I leave for Staten Island this week, for those following at home. I just still need to take pictures for the blog. All right, see how are those mushrooms doing? I'm reconstituting here. Maybe. Okay, yeah. I like that design. There we go. Awesome. And just one last thing to plate here, and it's stupid simple. Because I've already made it. It's no longer fizzy, but I think it'll work well for the photo anyway. butterbeer. My husband's recipe. I just need to top it with whipped cream and take some photos. Ooh, actually that butter could probably use some fresh cracked pepper on it once I find where the heck my pepper mill went. Where did my pepper mill go? Pepper mill! Haha! It's over here. So, let me go a little. There we go. And maybe a dash of garlic powder so people know what it is. Well, personally, I think it's got enough garlic. Okay. There we go. All right. So yeah, this recipe for butterbeer is my husband's recipe. It uses butterscotch liqueur, vanilla vodka, or was it whipped cream vodka, and root beer. Cool. And now needs a little something on top to make it look interesting. I think I've got some Baker's shimmer powder in here. Oh, I'm not sure how well that's going to show up in the photos. I know I had golden colored. Ooh, cinnamon sugar. Oh no, let's top it with some nutmeg. And what else? Silver Baker's shimmer powder. Ah, here, I've got gold. Gold Baker's shimmer powder. When you need your insides to be all glittery. Okay, see, my hand's still shiny. All right, so I've got my butterbeer, my giggle water. Is it still being fizzy? Okay, good, it's still fizzy. As well as my pan-fried Myconid cap with garlic, sweet garlic butter for dipping sauce. So, I think that covers everything that we were going to make today. Thank you so much for joining me on Munchies and Minis. I will not be having an episode this upcoming week of Munchies and Minis because I will be on Audio Dungeon as a guest. Please do watch Audio Dungeon either on Facebook or on Twitch. Their show runs from 8:30 p.m. to 10:45 p.m. and I'm going to be playing a gladiator turned tavern owner who's going to be serving up some sweet tea cider as well as an all-day brunch menu. So please join me for that this upcoming week. Next episode of Munchies and Minis will be the following Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you so much